It was hot. Summertime. And I was in the backyard frying hamburgers when my marriage fell apart like a cheap lawn chair. The grill hissed next to me, producing heat that clung to your neck and made every breath feel like drinking steam. I used one hand to flip the patties, the other to wipe white perspiration from my forehead, while fat sizzled and popped. This was supposed to be a simple family cookout day, something I had planned for weeks. Noel and Carter were inside watching cartoons. Casey had tossed the generic buns in the cart, like she always did. I watched the grill with one eye and the sliding glass door with the other, laughing at a talking animal show. I was waiting for Casey to bring out the lemonade she'd promised, and then she appeared, wearing a tight-fitting scarlet dress. Now, the mother of twins didn't mention tight, but the message was clear. That dress wasn't for me. It said date night. It said anniversary. It said someone else. I remembered that dress. 3 years ago, our 10th anniversary. We slow danced in the living room that night. Her hair curled, makeup flawless, and she looked like she truly wanted to be there. She hadn't worn that dress since, and now she was wearing it again. But not for me. I squinted at her through the window. The boys were asleep upstairs. Smoke wafted around me. "You going somewhere?" I asked. She didn't flinch. The doorbell rang. She just gave me this shiny plastic smile. "Be right back," she murmured. Her heels clicked over the tile like she'd rehearsed the moment in front of a mirror. And then he entered. Tall, 6'4", wearing a phony Gucci shirt stretched over a protein powder chest. Tattoos crawled up his neck like spilled ink that no one cleaned. He was too loud, too cocky. His presence felt like a cold wind on a hot day. "This is Malik," Casey said, grinning like she'd won the lottery. He barely nodded. Didn't shake my hand, just looked around like he was pricing the place. "Malik, huh?" I blinked as he walked into my house like he'd paid the mortgage. "Yeah," he said casually. I stiffened. "Nice setup." "You the grill guy?" he asked. I said, "I'm the husband." He smirked. Not for long. 15 minutes later, he was sitting on my couch in my living room. I watched them through the garden window. He poured himself a drink from my liquor cabinet like it was his bachelor pad. Casey laughed like a teenager, whispered in his ear, smiled like stretch marks, and twin fatigue didn't exist. When the twins came outside, Noel holding Carter's hand and his favorite dinosaur toy, they asked me, "Who's that tall guy with Mommy?" I knelt to wipe Noel's face. My stomach churned. A knot in my throat tightened. Malik swaggered outside, sipping a drink. He walked right up next to me, sweat beading down his smug face. "You're done, bro," he whispered. "I'm the man of the house." I looked up at him, my mouth dry. "You sure you want to say that in front of my kids?" He grinned. "They'll get used to it." Before I could say a word, before I could breathe, Casey stepped forward and slapped me, hard, right across the face. My ears rang, not from pain, but from the look in my son's eyes, confused, hurt, terrified. I said quietly, "What the hell?" Casey cut me off. "Don't talk to me," she said sharply. "You've been a stand-in. Malik's who I want, and something in me snapped, silently, not with a shout, not with a fist, just snapped. I felt it. The death of hope, the quiet end of trying. He was wearing a fake designer shirt, yeah, but he was also wearing my life, like a trophy, and I wasn't going to let him have it. I don't remember how many times I hit him, but after the first, his face changed. The cocky king swagger was gone. Terror took its place. He wasn't ready. Not for the man I became when Casey hit me. He thought the quiet guy flipping burgers wouldn't fight back. He thought wrong. The first thing that brought me back was the crash, the glass table exploding under us. Shards flew like confetti. Malik hit the floor, taking the lamp and a side table down with him. I heard the sound, a wet snap, as his wrist bent at a sick angle. He screamed, not a macho scream, not performative, a real scream, raw, panicked, and still. I didn't stop, because it wasn't just about him. It was about every cold shoulder, every not tonight, every fake smile. It was about betrayal, and Casey, she just stood there, arms crossed, smug smirk. She didn't yell, didn't beg me to stop, didn't run to Malik. She just watched, like this was the role she wanted me to play, the angry, violent husband. She was already writing the story in her head, for her friends, for a judge, for anyone who'd listen. The villain. Me. When the paramedics arrived, the room was wrecked. Malik whimpered, clutching his arm like it was made of glass. One medic helped him up. The other looked at me like I was a monster. I didn't argue, didn't explain, didn't lie. I knew how it looked. Blood on my hands, broken furniture, my son silent and wide-eyed. When the police came, I raised my hands before they even spoke. Malik came into my house, disrespected me in front of my kids, and I lost it. One officer wrote notes. The others looked to Casey for her story. "You've ruined everything," she hissed. No, she had. And in that moment, I saw it. Maybe my wife didn't exist anymore. Maybe
she never. Jones, and behind that love was enough.
Didn't follow the ambulance, just picked glass from her hair like it was any other Tuesday. I walked past her, through the broken pieces of my life. Into the kitchen, I turned on the faucet, let cold water run over my scraped knuckles, and I felt still. Empty. Later that night, after the boys finally fell asleep, too scared to go to their own beds, I sat in the dark holding frozen peas to my jaw. Casey sat across from me. Legs crossed, phone in her lap. Like none of this had happened. When I said I was pressing charges, she just said, "Do what you have to do." She looked at me like I was nothing, and for the first time that day, I wasn't angry. I was clear. This wasn't a wife I could reason with. This wasn't a marriage I could save, but I'd be damned if I'd lose my sons. She closed our bedroom door behind her, and something inside me woke up. Not rage, not sadness. Something else. A father. I shouldn't have charged her phone. I should have left it where I found it, buried in a drawer full of tangled cords and expired coupons. But I did. And when it powered